Welcome back. Got a good Garrett startup video for you here so you can see both engines getting cranked up. We'll head out of Missouri, heading on home. Catch some decent tailwinds on the ride home, which is not so bad, and then head on in to runway 36 at the lake. Hope you guys enjoy these videos. If you do, hit the little like button. If you get wild and crazy, you can subscribe and you'll get notified as I continue to try to make some videos for you guys and enjoy it. So post comments if there's something you'd like to see.
100 degrees, so it's an easy start. 10% in climbing, fuel flow is introduced, light off. RPM continues to increase more than 1% every second. Temperature is stabilizing. Lights on, we'll release the unfeather pump. Pressure's good. Good. Bleed air on the right side. Left generator first. Right generator. Then the left generator back off, and we'll let it charge. Feather, tail light off, tail light on. And off. That's verified. They're clear, flat, and open. There we go. Have rotation, have fuel flow, and light off. Oil pressure is starting to move. Tail light is solid. Can release. Protect the condition lever. Pressure's good. Come back up the stack. Everything looks good. Both. And they take the load.
Well, of my 4 jobs on this flight, pilot, director, videographer, and audio man, I flunked on the audio man. I actually plugged the in-cockpit audio plug into the headphone jack of the little audio recorder. So that was pretty horrible. So it just finished my little pre-brief. Now I went through the environmental system. Bleed air system is set to both Cut 5 to Saudi Alive, so elevator trim, aileron trim, and then rudder trim are all set. Verify and show that flaps are indicating 20. Actually set the igniters to auto and take the flight idle or fuel condition levers and set them to takeoff position, basically full power. Up top, verify the heats are all on, going back through all the gauges, making sure there's nothing abnormal, and that flow goes up the engine's instruments, comes back down and continues across, and basically checking for making sure the generators are still taking the load evenly, and there's no anomalies. I have an annunciator panel on my left, to the left of my left knee, that I'll glance down at, make sure that panel is clean. There are some annunciators on the front of the aircraft dashboard, but quite frankly, they're just kind of the important ones, right? You know, hey, fire caution lights and things like that. Got a little Cessna coming in on final, so I had to wait on him before I departed out of Refine Airport. There he comes. So, uneventful flight, kind of like we like a lot, but airplane performed as it should. So was running empty, had good fuel prices, so I went up and filled up on gas here. Got a lot more free time to think about this thing. So wonderful Bose headset there in the corner. But while I'm thinking about it, you know, if you guys like these videos, please put in the comments what you'd like to see more of. So sitting still, you're basically sitting on beta, which is pitch of the props are flat, and you'll see the controls will come up over the gate. I'm kind of in that beta mode now. You get a little over 100 pounds of thrust from the jet engine itself, and then obviously the props can counteract that, and when they're flat. So taxi out here, we're going to tap on the brakes one last time. I'll verify the runway heading, and I'll verify that with the electronics in front of me. What I did there is I hit my go-around button. So that's setting my flight director to a proper attitude. It's also got my heading bug, which is runway heading. So it kind of gives me a visual reference. So we're going to run the engines up. What I'm looking to see is both of those beta lights go out. That's a no-go item. So as the power starts to increase, I'm also making sure mechanically they're spooling up the same, so no anomalies there. And now I'm going to set the power. Ideally set for about 95% torque, because you're going to get some more torque out of the ram air coming in as we accelerate. On this load, rotation is going to be about 105. Maybe back off to the right. Seems I can't find the center line today. So the gear on the MU-2 are super critical as relative to drag. They are huge drag items. So the moment you have positive rate, you get the gear in transition. That's also a big decision point as far as what we can do if I blow a motor on takeoff. And quickly after that, what you'll see is as I accelerate through 125 knots, you'll see go from flaps 20 to flaps 5. And then from 120 accelerating through 150, which we've already done here, it will select flap 0. As a lot of you guys know, the wing on the MU-2 is very small once you suck up all the flaps, roughly the size of a 182 wing. So blue line, or the kind of minimum speed you want to be moving around on one engine is 150 knots. So you want to get up to that 150, obviously, before you pull up all your flaps. 5-degree flaps gives you roughly 28% more lift and more wing, if you will, than flap 0. So it's a pretty significant thing. The Fowler, easy for me to say, flaps designed to, it makes it pretty cool. Once again, got a camera mount on the blink, so I'll have to work on that. So those flaps come out, they come rearward, away from the wing, thus extending the chord line and the wing itself, surface area, and then they will come down that 5 degrees. I'm going to try to get an in-flight video of that one of these days. It's somewhat difficult because I don't remotely activate these cameras. So putting a camera in the back during this I'll have to work on. Maybe I can get the boss lady to help out one of these days. So normal climb out, you know, coming out of this part of Missouri is pretty quiet, so not any heavy airspace to worry about. So got quick climb clearance from the guys, the departure controllers there. Got assigned up to, I think, 22,000 on this flight out. So static cruise climb, which is about 161 knots, and basically give it over to the autopilot and let it do some of the heavy lifting while I kind of do cleanup items and are able to really focus on the overall condition of the aircraft, the engines, etc. So sorry for the audio. I think the next little segment I got it right, so we'll talk to you in a bit. Good news, this will be my last voiceover. Finally got a tailwind, so the humor behind this is basically I had 4 straight flights of nothing but 50 plus knot headwinds, 120 knot crosswinds and things like that, and finally got a little bit of a tailwind, so 60 knots pushing us along the ground, and also a little bit of better performance out of the old girl. With ISA temperatures coming down, running basically right at normal operating, which is about 650 on the temperature, getting 285, I think, and still half tanks on the tip tanks, so actually still quite heavy. So the temperatures kind of made a big change. All the normal operating procedures is normal. Somebody asked about RPM. Normal RPM range is 100 to 101. Some people do 100.5, but maybe it's like religion. Talking to a couple of the maintenance shops, they say it really doesn't make that big a difference. So you guys have at me on that. I got a flame suit, so we'll see how it goes. But anyway, it was nice getting a push home. Made a quick trip, and we'll be able to pick back up with the in-cockpit stuff on the descent, since I seem to have figured out what the problem was when I went to start that video. But pretty blue skies, obviously clearing out because of the winds, and so getting ready to head on in. Probably about an hour out at this point, and looking forward to being home. So we'll see you on the descent. And click that like button and subscribe and all that cool stuff, because, you know, YouTube, you know how it is.
We're headed into home, so we've got about a little under 100 miles to go, 93.5 if anybody's keeping score. Coming out of 23,000, getting dunked right over the top of Birmingham. Pretty normal. So we'll speed up on the way down. So let's go ahead and get our descent checklist going on here. Alright, so cabin altitude is set. I did that. And fuel control switches, we're going to leave those where they are today, so they are set. Altimeters, we're not through 18,000, but I do have the altimeter of 299.7 where we're going, so I'm going to go ahead and dial that into this guy. But when we actually cross, not that I should get back up above that, but at least I'll get to the habit of waiting. Alright, altimeter set, pressurization is also set and decreasing as expected. Generator load is good. No de-icing required this time. Defog is not needed this time. Igniters are set to auto. And we will get our taxi lights on. Everything else stays the same. Complete the descent checklist. So we'll stow that for the moment. We'll come back around for the approach checklist in a bit. So pretty uneventful ride. Was able to ride a little bit of that tailwind. Of course, now it's 72 knots. Down to 11000, 270. Alright, 11000. Altitude is pre-select is already set. Region maps is indicated.
And then in Twin Connection 16 Yankee is 4 miles northwest for left downwind for 33 minutes. Ellis City.
Pressurization
Ellis City traffic, Cherokee 2 Lima is 10 miles east of the field, setting up for an extended left base 36, correction, extended right base 36 full stop allocating. Right, Twin is 60 inbound. Shelby County traffic, Yellow Cup 33 Hotel, we are 10 miles to the east.
Busy day today.
In the right downwind for runway 34, currently 2,400, Shelby County.
Out City traffic, Mitsubishi 17270. Milty inbound on basically a 5 mile final 36, Alex City. That power is set.
Connection 16 Yankee is left downwind, runway 33, full stop.
Here comes gear. Lights are good. Cherokee inbound now. Alex City, you copy that?
Yeah, we got you. You should be descending.
Roger that.
Union traffic, Bonanza. miles to the north-northeast.
Degrees of flap selected.
Crossing midfield, 2,500. Join left downwind. Unit.
And then a Tokyo X 6 Yankee Smithville left downwind for 33 full stop.
Power is set. Trim is set.
Altitude traffic, Mitsubishi 17270, limit to final 36, Alex City, full stop.
Little bumpy today. 500 feet, the runway is clear. I'm landing.
All right, so one of you guys correctly identified that I don't talk much when I get on the, the last little bit of a landing. So when I say power is set in this particular aircraft, 38% power is like the perfect little power setting. And the numbers I use with 20 degrees flaps, and that puts me at my approach speed. Coming over the fence at a 125 and not getting below that on the approach. As I come in and the runway is made, in the long body Mitsubishi, what you'll see is I'm going to start to reduce power just a little bit, and then as I have the runway in coming underneath me, I'll go to flight idle. And what that does is actually kind of sits the tail down for me. So I basically land the tail with the power versus flaring, you know, like a traditional piston airplane would be, and other aircraft, other turbines as well. And then on the dash you can see the two beta lights coming on. So you want to verify those both come on at the same time before you go into a significant amount of reverse thrust if needed. This runway at my home airport is actually pretty much uphill, so you get a lot of braking action just from the grade going uphill and coming to a stop. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this as much as I enjoy flying it. The editing part, not so much. Like and subscribe if I'm doing anything right. If I'm not doing anything right, comment and tell me what I'm doing wrong. It's the internet, it's what people do. Seriously though, thanks for watching and making it to the end of the video, and look forward to seeing you guys out there in the air.
City traffic, Mitsubishi 17270 is clear of the active exit.
Condition. Transponders to stand by. Verify all the heats are off, beacon stays on, landing lights are retracted. Try not to trunk fancy too much. Pressurization system is expected 0.
Well guys, I appreciate you riding along with me, and I've got a couple more flights worth of videos I'm working on editing, and look forward to posting those shortly. Have a great day.